MMAOddsBreaker Frank Trigg. This week we're talking to Anthony Birchak, getting ready to fight Joe Soto, UFC 177, which is now a changed card. How does the main event get moved from 77 over to 78? How does that affect you?
It affects me in the way that, I thought it was going to be really good energy going into this fight, being able to fight on the same card as another Rise Combat fighter, Chris Carriasso, the owner of Rise Combat. I thought we were going to have all our coaches there, all our fans there. It was going to be kind of a 2-for-1 for everybody, and with him getting moved off, it's great for him because he's the main event now, and but the thing is now people are trying to scramble to refund their tickets and all kinds of stuff going on in the gym, and then for my sake, that synergy between everybody's not going to be there like I thought it was.
That makes sense, but still, I understand you're losing your coach and some of the fans and some of the guys that would travel for one event won't be able to travel to both events back to back. So I know you're going to lose part of that, but isn't Dillashaw and Barao the main event and Castillo and Ferguson the co-main event? Aren't they pretty exciting too?
Yeah, they're
still bring a lot of energy to the card anyway too.
Yeah, absolutely. The alpha males, they always bring a crowd. They're always going to bring super supporters, Uber fans. I think, with Henry Cejudo being on that card, there should be some Arizona fans there, So I still think I'm going to be in good company. I still think there's going to be a lot of great energy still, but you know what I mean? Like I said, I was just bummed out that Chris ended up getting moved to September 27th.
Well, you're the first fight of the night. Like you guys, you start off right away on 177.
It's almost like
that's the best spot. Right? It's almost the best spot on the card. If you're not the main event or co-main event, the next best spot kind of seems to be the first fight of the night. They have it regulated to Fight Pass, but more viewers tend to watch things on Fight Pass than they do to actually watch on the pay-per-views. It's kind of weird where the Fight Pass has more eyeballs on it than the pay-per-view.
Well, tell my sponsors that.
That was my next question. Have the sponsors obviously the sponsors haven't. They haven't grabbed onto the fact that more eyeballs are going to see them on Fight Pass than they will on the pay-per-views. Because my next question was going to be, how's the money? Has the money jumped up for you because of
that? That's the thing is everything's so short notice right now that we're trying to put it together. And I always think stuff works out for a reason. Chris getting shuffled around. We may make main card. Me and Joe Soto are definitely going to put on a hell of a fight. You know what I mean? We're not going to be in there to snooze on each other. So, but like I said, getting everything together last minute. Sponsors like, well, where are you at on the card? Fight Pass, and they're like, oh man, that's rough. You know what I mean? But like you said, people are starting to catch on with it, and it's starting to be a very positive thing. Especially. Not just for everybody in the UFC, but Invicta's on it. You know what I mean? It's such a great outlet for so many new fighters now.
Well, basically all it is that they took the Facebook understanding of what they were doing with their first fights on Facebook and moved over to Fight Pass. The same amount of people are watching. You get in the millions, the 1.5, 1.6 range sometimes on these Fight Pass cards just because there's so much to view, there's so much, back being played, there's so much things that you miss if you can't get it home and watch it on Fox Sports 1 or Fox Sports. You can actually watch it on Fight Pass later on, so you're catching the 24/7, so to speak. You're catching all that stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
absolutely, and people at work are going to be watching it on their iPhones, on their iPads. You know what I mean? You can't just sit there and be watching, stuck on the wall looking at, you get fired. So you sneak it on your iPhone or your Android or whatever, and I think like you said, I think it's a really good an outlet. Like you said, 1.7 million people watching. That's huge.
Now, you're talking about people at work. The assumption is because you're in the UFC, you don't have to work. That all you do is fight. You're a professional athlete. That's all you do. Are you still working outside of the UFC still too?
When was I just recently did ops for my uncle's roofing company, I'm in the UFC now, but it's still, it's still hard to explain to people look, I'm a professional fighter and I love this life and I do this, but there's some times when not being able to fight between it'll be a year in October that I haven't fought. Wow. How am I supposed to, provide for a family of 6? I got, 4 kids here, me and my fiance, you know what I mean? So doing little odd jobs here and there, working at the gym, working for my uncle's roofing company, doing landscaping. I mean, I'm trying to do it all to stay afloat, man. And this is a huge break for me. I'm really, blessed to have this opportunity now.
Now, why the year layoff, though? What happened to cause that year layoff? And you had 2 great wins, over Bennett and Jones in MFC, 37-38, and then, like you said, it was last October. That was October 2013.
Well, there was a card, and as we know, I fought for the MFC, and I just got released and signed with the UFC. So the thing is after my Tito Jones fight, there was a card in January that I got kept off of. Anthony Hamilton, who's fighting on 177, and Sam Alvey, who's fighting this weekend, both got to fight back to back, and I kind of got held out. So I'm fighting, May. And I ended up getting injured around late April 25th, I think. And by the time everything went down, my contract was, expired July 10th. So it's just been a super long layoff, and it's been really financially, cumbersome on my family.
Not to mention with the baby too. I mean, you talked about the 4 kids.
Yeah, exactly.
The baby, like you've got a newborn. Well, not a newborn anymore, but you've got a new baby in the house. And it's difficult to keep that stuff together.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I don't know how I do it sometimes. I got a great woman behind me and everything, and it's just my kids are awesome. Having the new babies put in so many things into perspective. I feel like I'm more hungry now. I got more of a legacy to leave, more of something for both my sons to look at and be like, okay, my daddy did that. You know what I mean? That's the kind of track that I want to be on.
That's Anthony Birchak is getting ready to fight Joe Soto coming up here in UFC 177. Obviously, it's going to be a great fight. It's the first fight of the night, guys. You've got to watch this guy. If you haven't seen Anthony fight before, I was blessed to be able to commentate a couple of his fights. I've interviewed him a couple different times for MFC. This is a guy you've got to watch. The fight, I believe, this fight's not going a distance between you and Soto. I think because both of you guys are going to bring it. Both of you guys like to go heavy action and hard and quick. There's not that long-range filling out process through the first round. And the reason why everyone's going to see this fight on the pay-per-view as well, is because it's going to end early. And it's going to be an exciting fight. So the people that do watch it on pay-per-view will also get to see it. Because if they don't catch the fight pass, it's going to get moved up into the main event as well. So everyone will be able to see this fight anyway because it will be exciting. It's going to go fast.
Yeah, I agree, man. And go ahead and tweet that because, I feel like you're saying, man, one of us, we're not in there to play slap and tickle, you know what I mean? We're going to get at it and someone's head's coming off or a limb's coming off and I see it being a potential fight of the night candidate bout. So, I'm super excited about it. The guy's no slouch, 2-time world champion. He's a tough wrestler. And I think he's the style of fighter that I love to fight and sit and bang with.
Anthony, thanks for coming out here for a few minutes with MMAOddsBreaker. I appreciate it, man. We'll talk to you soon, bud.
Hey, thanks, Frank. I appreciate it.